like to express our deepest regret at the death of Lata Mangeshkar. We are in the midst of two-day national mourning. So at the very onset, we would like to pay tribute to her and, the legacy that she has left behind for all of us and made us a more melodious people and a more, I would say, harmonious nation. Let me start after that. The last 3 or 4 days has seen very hectic political activity in Goa. And the time has now come in the final days before the election to basically Goenkas need to decide what they're going to do, which way is the vote going to go. So they need to think very long and very hard. But the few things that I'm going to say is that the most important thing they need to think about is what the BJP is seeking another term. We've had the union minister come down and say that the BJP is seeking another term in the name of development. And to me, it seems hilarious that the BJP, what are they going to vote on? They haven't even released their manifesto yet. It seems to me strange that 4 days before last day of campaigning, that the manifesto is not even out. And it fits in because there is actually nothing to talk about. Is this government really going to the vote on development? What development are they talking about? Every large infrastructure project is stalled. They have taken, the debt in Goa has gone up 70% in the last 10 years under the BJP government. The debt in the state today is 24,000 crores. What they are doing now is taking higher interest loans to pay back older loans that are at lower interest. So you're reversing the debt pyramid, which is very, very dangerous for any state. Excuse me, please. Which is very, very dangerous for any state. The other thing that they're doing is, if you think about it, look at the PWD budget. The PWD budget is 3,000 crores. What are you actually spending out of that? You're spending a fraction because most of the money is going into, again, repaying interest. The union minister also said that we are going to the vote. If you want democracy and you want development and you don't want dynasty, then you should vote for the BJP. May I remind the union minister, has she seen the candidate list? It's like there used to be an old comedy show on Doordarshan called Mr. and Mrs. Do you remember that? Archana Puran Singh used to be on it. This has become a Mr. and Mrs. comedy show. Has she seen that? What about Valpoi and Poriam? What about Talegaon and Panjim? So if you haven't seen your own candidate list, please do not lecture about dynasty. The BJP has probably more dynasty than any other party in Goa today. If you're talking about jobs, they're saying we're going to create jobs. Goa is the only state where jobs are not created on the basis of vacancies. Jobs are created on how many ministers and how many MLAs want to influence certain groups. So if an MLA wants to get X many votes from here, he'll say, okay, I need to get 10,000 votes. All right, I'll give you 1,000 jobs. He will then go and find a way in order to create those 1,000 vacancies and do it. So it's reverse. It's reverse. If you see in EDC, who is the head of the EDC? The state president of the BJP. Yes or no? So if you see in the EDC, I was watching a video made by an activist the other day where they had a person whose marks were much lower than the cutoff required for that particular vacancy. But what happened? He was called in person to the EDC, spoken to, and then employed. So every single recruitment that is going on in Goa is not based on vacancy. It is based on how many people they want to influence. And just at the time of election, that's how the vacancies are created. Under what authority can MLAs and ministers give jobs? We run a government in Bengal. I was an MLA. An MLA can't just decide that I want to give 6,000 jobs. That's not how it works, especially in state corporations. So I want to ask the people that what is this actually, what are the issues that the government is going to seek another term on? It says, thank you, Savant. Isn't that what they're saying? Yes, I would like to say thank you. Thank you for showing us the light that you're the most inept, corrupt government that this BJP has had. So thank you. Thank you for being the fall guy for the BJP. Thank you for making us understand that there's no way we can vote you back. Thank you for making the people of Goa be so sure today that no matter what they want, they don't want the BJP. So yes, we do have to thank the CM for all of these things. There's no doubt about that. When we're talking about pledges, we see that now the sort of theme of the week or the theme of the day seems to be pledges. Now, do you remember in India, if any of you have been to court, what do? You take the Gita, you put your hand on it, and you say, मैं गीता पे हाथ रख के कहती हूँ कि मैं जो भी कहूंगी सच कहूंगी और सच के सिवा कुछ नहीं कहूंगी. We all know what the Indian courts are like. So by that logic, every single person who goes into court and decides to put his hand on the Gita would be speaking the truth. So this is exactly what that has become like here. By swearing on affidavit that you are not going to move is absolutely has no bearing in law. Why are we not even indulging in this? Because these are just dramatics. These are just dramatics. In a country where the anti-defection law itself allows 2/3 of the party to move, in a country where the speaker of an assembly, where the speaker of the Lok Sabha sits on these issues for more than 3 years, 4 years till the term expires, what teeth do you have, either by the RP Act or legally, to enforce this? So it makes for good headlines that I'm going to a temple, I'm going to a church, I'm going to a mosque and saying I won't leave. But we've seen what Goa politics are like. If this is the situation, then those 10 Congress MLAs who moved over, were they all godless people? Were they all godless people? Certainly not. They must have belonged to some faith somewhere. So overnight, this kind of, what in Hindi we call dramebazi, what in English we call pure histrionics, is no good. And that's why the Trinamool is not making its people go through these inane hoops to jump through and prove to people that they're not going to move. After the election in Bengal, not one Trinamool MLA has moved over. Not one. So we know how to hold on to our flock. If people are accountable to their constituents, if they're accountable to their voters, they will not move. By going and declaring and doing these stupid affidavits is not going to do anything. It has absolutely no bearing in law. It's just election drama, which is why we're not doing it. So I would ask all Goenkas to really decide that there is nothing for the BJP to go to people right now. It is neither democracy, because they are the killers of democracy in this country. And, there's no need to elaborate on that. Everyone has seen that. There is nothing on development for the people of Goa, because you have seen how they have ruined the state. It is among the most corrupt states in India today. And as for dynasty, I think their candidate list is ample proof of the dynastic politics that they do. Thank you. I will hand it over to our Vice President, Mr. Kadkodkar, who will speak in Konkani.
गोंयचे जे सरकार आसा ते भारतांतले सगळ्यांच्याहून मोस्ट करप्ट सरकार आसा. तुमकां खबर आसा की ह्याच गव्हर्मेंटांतलो एक मंत्री जो रिजायन जाला हाल्लीच, ताणें सांगलां की हे 35% दलालीचें सरकार आसा. ताणेंच न्ही, एक्स गव्हर्नर सत्यपाल मलिकानूय सांगलां की there was corruption in anything and everything of this government. हाजेर लोकांनी इव्हॅल्युएट करचें की हे सरकाराक कितें करपा जाय म्हण तें हांवें सांगपाक गरज ना. हे सरकार डेव्हलपमेंटाचेर मत मागता. कसलो डेव्हलपमेंट? 35% दलाली जातकीर 65% लोकां मेरेन पावता. तें डेव्हलपमेंट? आमकां खबर आहा अटल सेतू बांदली त्या बरोबर 2 म्हयने भितर पेड्यार जालो. तार गेले, ताका क्रॅक आयलो, अशे कितलेशेच प्रॉब्लेम जाले. ताजे जी लायटीची कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट आशिल्लो, लायटी घाल्ल्यो, तातूंत भितर जवळ जवळ 60 ते 70% करप्शन आशिल्लें. तशेंच आतां कितें जालां, जशें जशें आतां इंट्रस्ट रेट सायकल बदलता तशें तशें आतां तुमकां खबर आहा की इन्फ्लेशन वाडपाक लागला, म्हळ्यार म्हारगाय वाडपाक लागल्या. ताका लागून इंट्रस्ट रेट वाडूं लागल्या गेल्ले 1-1.5 म्हयन्याक. हाजो अर्थ कितें जाता की गव्हर्मेंटाक लोन्स आहा ते स्वॅप करचे पडटात फ्रॉम लो इंट्रस्ट टू हायर इंट्रस्ट. म्हळ्यार तांणी समज तेन्ना 7% लोन घेतिल्लो, तो आतां तांकां स्वॅप करून 8%चेर वचचो पडटा. दुसरें आनी एक ते म्हणटात की बीजेपी डायनास्टी म्हण ती पळयना. पूण म्हाका दिसता की ज्यांनी हें म्हणलां तांकां गोंयचें कांय खबर ना. गोंया बीजेपी कितें करता ती कांयच खबर ना. तांणी राणे फॅमिली पळोवना, तांणी मोन्सेरात फॅमिली पळोवना. तांकां लोकांनी विचारपा जाय, लोकांनी आनी प्रेसांनी विचारपा जाय, ताका कित्याक कोण क्वेश्चन करतात. हेडलायन येतात की बीजेपीक डायनास्टी नाका म्हणून. ही हेडलायन येवपाकच जायना. तांकां क्वेश्चन करून थंय वेगळो कॅप्शन येवपाक जाय की बीजेपीच्या लिडराक गोंयची डायनास्टी किती आसा बीजेपीची ती खबर ना म्हणून. जॉब्स म्हणून क्रिएट करतात. ते जॉब्स कित्याक क्रिएट करतात? मतां खातीर करतात. आणि जॉब सुद्धा प्रत्येक जाण पयर सुद्धा बाबुशान म्हणला की PWD करप्शन जाल्लें. PWDक पयशे घेवन हे दिल्लें. हालींच केलां 2 दीस पयलीं. म्हणल्यार तांणी कन्फर्म करतात की जॉब्साक खूब भ्रष्टाचार जाला. जो रिबेलियन व्हायरस काँग्रेसीक जो जडला ताजे अगेन्स्ट काँग्रेस अफिडेविट दिता. अफिडेविटाचो व्हॅल्यू कितें? दॅट परफॉर्मन्स कॅन बी गॅरंटीड. ते एनफोर्स करू शकता कोर्टान वचून. कोणे करपाचें? पार्टीन करपाचें काय लोकांनी करपाचें, वोटरांनी करपाचें? पार्टीचो पयलो कंट्रोल कित्याक ना तांचेर? 17तले 1-2 न्ही, 1-2 सोडून गेले जाल्यार त्या पेड्यार म्हणून जाता. 17तले 15 जाण सोडून गेले. 17तले 15 एक्चुअली 17तले 15 न्ही ते 18तले 16 बाबू शेख एक्स्ट्रा निवडून आयिल्लो ड्युरींग बायपोल्स 99. 18तले 16 सोडून गेल्यात. 18तले 16 म्हळ्यार 90% तांकां सोडून गेल्यात. 90% सोडून वचप म्हणल्यार पार्टेकूच कितें तरी प्रॉब्लेम आसा. पार्टेनूच कितें प्रॉब्लेम आसा अशें जायना. सो लोकांनी विचार करूंक जाय की हे कित्याक जाता. लास्टाक सांगपा म्हणल्यार लोकांनी चिंतपा जाय की बीजेपी कितें केलें 10 वर्सां. काँग्रेसीन ताजे 5 वर्स पयलीं कितें केलें. हे डबल इंजीन म्हणटे काँग्रेस बीजेपी 15 वर्सांची डबल इंजीन आसा. तांणी 15 वर्सां एकट्यान दुसऱ्या खातीर कितें तरी करून दवरलें आनी दुसऱ्यान मागीर ते लुटले गोंयांत. हे 15 वर्सांचे काँग्रेस बीजेपी डबल इंजीन हरोवपा जाय. हे इंजीन गोंयाक फाटल्यान घेवन गेला कमीत कमी 10 वर्सां. थँक्यू.
Thank you very much. Your questions, please?
I'm Vikrant Sahai, Kadkodkar newspaper.
Yes, please.
My question is to you.
Yes.
We have about a week now to go for the polls. How do you assess your strength in Goa right now?
We are fighting an alliance with the MGP. I can say this, I mean, obviously nobody goes into numbers at this point, but I can tell you this, that the MGP TMC alliance together will be in a bloc without whom it will be impossible to form a government. So whatever it is, we will be, the TMC MGP bloc will play a role in forming the government.
Yesterday Congress have released a manifesto.
Yes. It's their manifesto. They'll stand by their promises. I think people have seen years and years of the BJP and Congress's manifesto. So I would like to speak on our manifesto and leave it to the Congress to talk about theirs. It's great. Wonderful. She's a senior party position holder of the Congress, and the Congress is in the fight here, and she's come to campaign. It's wonderful. That's it. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.